Breaking news. The battle is set. The Las Vegas Raiders are gearing up to take on the New England Patriots, and the keys to victory are clearer than ever. This isn't just another game. This is about proving toughness, execution, and who really wants it more. Raider Nation, stay locked in, because what I'm about to share could determine how Week 1 plays out. But before we dive into the latest updates, do me a quick favor. Hit that subscribe button, smash the like, and don't forget to ring the bell icon so you never miss breaking Raiders news. Now, let's move on to the new story. Key number 1 for the Raiders. The offensive line has to dominate. If the trenches are lost, nothing else matters. Protecting Geno Smith is non-negotiable because when he's comfortable in the pocket, he can look like a top 10 quarterback. But when he's pressured, that sharp edge dulls fast. This is where Colton Miller, Dylan Parham, Jordan Meredith, JPJ, and DJ Glaze must step up. Their job? Control the line of scrimmage, give Geno time, and open lanes for Ashton Gentry to pound the rock. Why? Because when the ground game starts rolling, the vertical attack that Chip Kelly loves suddenly becomes deadly. It stretches defenses thin and forces them into mistakes. At the end of the day, football often comes down to one simple truth: the more physical team wins. And this matchup feels exactly like that kind of war. Patriots versus Raiders could go either way on paper, but if Vegas is tougher, hungrier, and more disciplined in the trenches, they'll tilt the scale in their favor. Key number 2. Great teams adjust, average teams don't. When the Raiders face the Patriots, this won't just be about the first drive or the opening quarter. It's about adapting on the fly, first quarter, second, third, and all the way into crunch time in the fourth. The ability to adjust in real time is often the difference between victory and collapse. Chip Kelly's system thrives on constant motion and unpredictability. Even if something works early, the Raiders can't fall into the trap of thinking it will work all night. The Patriots will adjust, and you better believe Josh McDaniels has this game circled in red ink. This is personal for him. He's going to bring every wrinkle, every trick, every grudge-fueled call in his playbook to try and embarrass the team that let him go. That means defensive coordinator Patrick Graham must be razor sharp. He has to anticipate McDaniel's best punch and still be ready with a counterpunch. Because once halftime hits, we'll see exactly how real this Raiders team is. If they come out strong in the third and finish even stronger in the fourth, that's the mark of a contender. But here's the under-the-radar chess move. Go after Christian Gonzalez. This is a talented corner, no doubt, but let's not ignore the facts. He hasn't fully practiced since early training camp. That's weeks and weeks of missed reps. If I'm Las Vegas, I'm testing that hamstring right away. Stretch the field. Force him to run. Make him prove he's 100%. Because if he's not, the Raiders can turn that weak link into a game-breaking advantage. In a matchup this tight, exploiting even the smallest crack could be the difference between heartbreak and a statement win. Key number 3. Attack weakness. Defend against explosiveness. If I'm the Raiders, the very first thing I'm testing is Christian Gonzalez. Line him up against speed, Trey Tucker, Dante Thornton, Jacoby Myers rotated out wide, and send them deep early. Why? Because Gonzalez hasn't been in full action since camp, and that hamstring is still a question mark. If he's truly healthy, fine, he'll prove it. But if he's not, that's where Las Vegas can flip this matchup on its head. And let's be honest, sometimes the aggressive move is the only move. If you're going to go down, you go down swinging, not playing it safe. Stretch the field, make Gonzalez run, force him to cover ground over and over. If he can't keep up, New England's secondary gets exposed quickly. But while testing Gonzalez is a priority, the other side of this coin is just as important. The Raiders must not get burned deep. New England's offense under Josh McDaniels is built for long, methodical drives, short passes, controlled routes, grinding you down bit by bit. Without Tom Brady, McDaniels isn't the master of execution he once was. But here's the catch. Add in a couple of deep shots from Drake May, and suddenly everything changes. Those underneath routes, McDaniels' bread and butter, become almost impossible to defend once the defense is stretched. This is where the secondary has to rise. Eric Stokes matching up against top receivers, Kai Blue Kelly and Darian Porter holding their ground. No blown coverages, no cheap home runs. Because if New England gets those chunk plays, their entire playbook opens wide. Bottom line, Las Vegas can win this chess match if they stay disciplined. Test Gonzalez early, shut down the deep ball, and trust that their offense has more firepower than New England's. Patriots may bring the tougher defense, but the Raiders' ability to strike first and defend the big plays could tilt the balance. Key number 4. Own the red zone. Here's the truth. Between the 20s, games can swing back and forth. But once you're inside the red zone, it's do or die. And the Raiders cannot afford to settle for field goals. Not this week. Not in this matchup. This has been a long-standing issue in Las Vegas. Too many drives stalling inside the 20. Different coaches, different coordinators, same story. That has to change. The Raiders need touchdowns when opportunities come, because games like this don't offer many second chances. Look at the numbers. Last year, Las Vegas ranked near the bottom of the league in red zone efficiency. Less than half their trips inside the 20 ended in 6 points. The Patriots were just as bad, also finishing near the bottom. That means this game may very well come down to who flips that weakness into a strength on Sunday. Defensively, Patrick Graham's bend but don't break approach becomes critical here. Give New England yards if you must, but when they cross the 20, lock it down. Force them into field goals, and you tilt the scoreboard in your favor. On the flip side, the Raiders' offense must treat every red zone trip like gold. Wasted chances will lose this game, but if Las Vegas punches in touchdowns while New England settles for 3, the difference on the scoreboard will be clear by the fourth quarter. Bottom line, in a matchup this evenly balanced, red zone execution could be the razor-thin edge that decides who walks away with the win. Now let's flip the perspective and look at the Patriots' keys to victory and how the Raiders can counter them. The first one is simple but critical. Set the tone. This is Mike Vrabel's calling card. His teams play with grit, toughness, and a mentality that says, we're going to hit you harder than you hit us. Think of it like facing a Jim Harbaugh-style squad, physical, disciplined, and unrelenting from the opening whistle. Add in the storyline. Vrabel making his debut at home against his old friend Pete Carroll, with Tom Brady looming in the background of this rivalry. You can guarantee he'll have New England fired up from the very first snap. The Patriots will want to strike early, establish momentum, and make the Raiders play catch up. But here's where the chess match begins. Turnovers. Both teams struggled here last season. New England coughed up the football 23 times, ranking near the bottom of the league. The Raiders weren't much better on defense, forcing only 13 takeaways, one of the lowest marks in the NFL. That means this game could swing on just 1 or 2 mistakes. If the Patriots protect the football, they'll stay in control of the tempo. If the Raiders find a way to steal extra possessions, whether it's Maxx Crosby forcing pressure or the secondary finally capitalizing on bad throws, they can flip the momentum and tilt the scoreboard in their favor. This matchup is going to come down to toughness and discipline. Vrabel's Patriots want to dictate the fight. The Raiders, they need to punch back and take advantage when opportunities appear. Patriots key number 3, make Geno Smith uncomfortable. This isn't complicated. When Geno has time, he's one of the most efficient quarterbacks in the league. Top 10 numbers, top 8 in some categories, clean mechanics, and the ability to pick apart defenses. But when pressure gets home, everything changes. Last season, Geno was pressured on nearly 40% of his dropbacks, and that's where the cracks showed. His completion percentage dipped into the mid-50s, his passer rating plummeted below 50, and he threw more interceptions under pressure than any other quarterback in the league. Those numbers don't lie. Pressure is the blueprint. That's why New England will send the heat. Christian Barmore and Milton Williams will test the Raiders' interior, putting Jordan Meredith, Dylan Parham, and JPJ in the spotlight. If that pocket collapses, the Patriots win. But if the Raiders' offensive line holds firm, Geno can unleash the vertical attack that makes this offense dangerous. Patriots key number 4, pound the rock. Mike Vrabel's teams live on physicality, and nothing sets that tone faster than establishing the ground game. Expect a heavy dose of Ramondre Stevenson between the tackles, wearing down defenders and forcing safeties to creep closer to the line. Then there's Tre'Veyon Henderson, more dynamic, more versatile, and dangerous in space. Watch for him slipping out on routes, lining up against linebackers, and trying to exploit mismatches in the passing game. That's straight from the Josh McDaniels playbook. Think Deion Lewis, think James White, quick throws to backs that turn into chain-moving plays. For Las Vegas, the mission is clear. Stuff Stevenson early, don't let Henderson become a nightmare in coverage, and keep New England's offense predictable. If the Patriots get rolling on the ground, they'll control the tempo and make life a whole lot harder for Geno and the Raiders' offense. Patriots key number 5, get the run game rolling, then unleash play action. New England's identity starts on the ground. Ramondre Stevenson brings that physical, downhill style that wears defenses down. The Raiders were middle of the pack against the run last season, ranked 13th overall, but even that number doesn't tell the full story. When opponents controlled the line of scrimmage and forced Las Vegas to overcommit, the play-action game became lethal. That's where Drake May thrives. Off play action, he looks like a completely different quarterback, confident, efficient, and able to stretch defenses vertically. If the Patriots get Stevenson and Tre'Von Henderson moving early, the Raiders' defense could find itself playing catch-up all night. Patriots' final key to victory: feed Stefon Diggs. Diggs was their headline addition this offseason, and make no mistake, he's still the engine that can flip a game on one play. His route running is surgical, his deep ball tracking is elite, and when he finds a rhythm, defenses crumble. This matchup puts him against Eric Stokes, who will carry a massive responsibility. But it won't just be one-on-one. Expect Las Vegas to lean on zone looks from their new Pete Carroll-style scheme, mixing cover 3 and disguises to keep Diggs from getting loose. Even so, the challenge is real, because if Diggs wins early, the entire field opens for New England's other weapons, whether that's Demario Douglas, Efton Chisholm, or the tight ends. For the Raiders, it's simple: keep the lid on the deep ball. Force May to check down, rally to the football, and avoid giving up those momentum-shifting plays to Diggs. If they succeed, they can keep the offense from exploding. If not, it could get dangerous in a hurry. And here's a little bonus chess match. How do you neutralize Robert Spillane? He's the heart of this Raiders defense, but the Patriots will try to pull him out of position with misdirection and pistol looks. If Spillane bites downhill on the run, guys like Brock Bowers and Michael Mayer can sneak right past him for chunk plays. That's a battle worth watching: strength versus scheme.